So then we'll talk about the third eye. Okay. So what this is this has to do with envisioning. Okay. So let's say there's something you want to do. You know how you're sitting there and you think about it, something that happened to you 2 weeks ago, right? And you replay the image in your mind. It's like that, right? But it's the other way, right? So we envision what might happen, the possibilities. And everybody has got this gift, okay? It just takes a little bit of work, a little bit of fine tuning, and this is where you get psychic abilities. Everybody's psychic. They just don't realize what they're doing, okay? Because they've never had it explained to them. So what you would be doing is, like, let's say you're wondering something about your business. So you sit there and you get it's the mental image inside your mind, right? You can see it almost like a movie screen that plays, right? And so you use that and start to work with it, and you can develop it to where you can get see entire outcomes of events that might, and what it is, it's possibilities, right? So there is no tomorrow, there is no yesterday. Okay, so we are always in the now, right? It's forever the now, right? You might go to sleep, but it doesn't mean like anything has changed, right? So it's always the present moment. Okay, so this is where a lot of people are stuck at. They're stuck in between going back to the past or going to the future, right? So you think about what happened to you the day before, what went on when you a memory that you had that you really liked, or something you're thinking about that you experienced, like a sexual encounter, or it's the other way, right? You think about the stuff that might happen. So a lot of people think about all the things that could go wrong with shit, things like that, right? So instead of doing all that fuckery, you need to find a place of balance. Okay, there's a place right in the middle. Okay, and it's staying present in the moment. Okay, most people have only got, man, maybe like a minute, 2 minutes tops of being able to sit there and focus and stay in the present moment without thought after thought after thought tumbling through their mind. Okay, you don't have to live like that. There's another way to live, okay? And I'm going to talk to you about that. It's called silencing the mind, okay? So right now I can feel it. You got that fucking chaotic energy, just blah, 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 blah. And most of the time it's not even about positive and constructive shit, okay? You don't need to, first of all, let's get the negative self-talk out of the fucking way, okay? Stop. I'm 11:11 on the time, okay? So you've got some negative fucking, I can feel it. All right. So you're fucking really hard on yourself, and you need to fucking quit that. From now on, you don't say one fucking negative thing to yourself at all. Don't tolerate shit. Okay. And that comes along with the fear too. If you're sitting there being fearful of a situation, fucking stop. All right. You got to retrain your mind. You got to tweak it just a little bit, right? So where you are the fucking master, not the other way around. Okay. So this is called silencing the mind, okay? You've heard of meditation before, but most of the time nobody fucking tells you what you're doing, right? They just tell you to sit down and meditate. So there's a goal to meditation, okay? It's a goal where you sit down and you get your place to where you can sit there without no thoughts coming through your mind, okay? Or if a thought comes up, you just notice it and you don't latch onto it. Here's how a thought happens. A thought comes up and then you keep going with it. You think about what happened to you the day before, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, I could have done this and this, and you latch onto it and start rolling with it, and it's like throwing a pebble in a pond, right, and creating ripples. So that's just like the effect with thoughts. Okay, so when you're sitting there in meditation, you'll get better and better and better at it, right? You'll sit there, you'll get 10 minutes where you can sit there with 10 minutes with no thoughts going through your mind. Okay, this is possible. And it keeps getting more and more, right? You'll be able to go longer and longer. A little bit of time goes by, you'll be able to do 20 minutes, right? So you keep meditating once a day and go as long as you can. Now, even if you're sitting there and thoughts come up, this is how you work through it. You learn not to latch on, right? So this is why it takes a little bit of practice. But listen to me, this is how you change your entire fucking world, okay? You silence the mind. So when I'm sitting there, no thoughts are going through my mind unless I push forward a thought, right? Unless there's something I want to think about. Um, there's a way to flip that ego space. Okay. So that's your ego sitting there talking, blah, 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 blah. I can't believe what she did to me, or what am I going to do at work tomorrow? How am I going to get my bills paid? Fucking stop that shit. Okay. It's not productive. Anything you're doing in your mind that's not productive, it needs to be cut out. Okay. It needs to be, and you need to tweak it a little bit. Right. So you don't have a lot of the energy that you want because you're wasting your energy